And we are good. Okay. Yeah, so today's session is focusing on building skills through micro-credentials. At UNT, we offer a variety of different micro-credentials and courses that students have access to that can help build up your resume and really help you stand out to employers. This is hosted by Online Student Experience, but we're also collaborating with the UNT Strategic Educational Alliances, and we'll talk a little more about them towards the end when we start introducing who our speakers are today. And then if you have not yet, like I said, this is a part of our Future in Flight series. The top left QR code is registration, just mostly to provide us with some insight of, how you feel about, career preparation and career development currently, and what are some ways we can try to better prepare you for the future. And then this series is also a part of our Honor Cord program. If you're not familiar with it, it's the Online Student Experience Honor Cord program, where all you have to do is, participate in events like this, attend. You could also join our Canvas course where you keep track of points, also see some other on-demand content, and help earn points to, once you get 100 points, you earn your honor cord. It's free, it's easy. We mail it to you if you're not local, but highly recommend looking into that, especially if you're getting closer to graduation. And next Tuesday is our last session of the series where we're focusing on career planning for non-traditional students. We are going to be hosting this with a representative from the Career Center. This session is open up to anyone, not just non-trad, but it is primarily focused towards students who are already established in their careers. And just a subtle plug, some upcoming events that we have. This Friday, we are hosting our own PowerPoint night. So if you want to create your own PowerPoint over a random funny opinion that you have, you could check out how to sign up on our social media. Or you could just watch. We're absolutely open to that. And then, like I mentioned, next Tuesday is our last session for Future in Flight. And then next Friday, our graduate assistant Ethan is also hosting a trivia night for murder mystery. And so that's going to be hosted next Friday from 6 to 7. And then we are also hosting our first virtual graduation celebration in April. So if you are graduating this spring or this summer, or you know someone who graduated in fall of 2025, this is basically going to be a celebration for them. It's going to be all virtual. And on the screen is the QR code to register. And then if you're unable to attend the live session, no worries. We're also planning on creating a video compilation to put on our website. That way, students can still be recognized and share that with their friends and family. But I'll stop talking and I'll go ahead and transition it to the real speakers of the presentation. So I'll go ahead and bring it over to Indra to introduce herself first.
Hi, I'm Indra Boggett, and I am with the Division of Strategic Educational Alliances. It used to be called the Division of Digital Strategy and Innovation, DSI, but we are now C. And our division currently focuses on executive and professional learning. And so I will be talking to you about micro credential opportunities.
Hi. Then Andrea, if you want to go ahead and introduce. Oh, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
You're fine. Hi, everyone. My name is Andrea Caraway. I'm the manager for the Online Student Experience. So I work really closely with Dallas, and our role really is to provide support, resources, engagement opportunities to online students. So I'm excited to be here with you all today, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about LinkedIn Learning.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'll go ahead and stop sharing my screen so I can give Indra the opportunity to transfer it over to her.
Okay. So let's see. I'm going to talk to you about free micro-credentials that are available to UNT students. So first, we're going to talk about what is a micro-credential. So a micro-credential is a short, focused, and competency-based learning experience that enable students to develop and demonstrate specific skills or knowledge. It is formally assessed, verified, and often digitally documented, such as a badge or certificate, and is designed to complement degree programs by aligning with academic, professional, or industry relevant outcomes. So these generally are not learning experiences that you will receive academic credit for the most part. And they will not affect your GPA. They won't be graded in a traditional way with a letter grade and grade points. So they will not show up on your UNT transcript. So this is an opportunity for you to kind of extend your exploration into some of those professional areas, develop those professional skills a little bit more. But it's sort of a, no risk opportunity, because it's not, if you start working on one of these micro credentials and you find that you don't have time this month, this week, some projects have come up in your courses and you need to put a pause on the micro credential, there's some, you can just kind of pause it, reset the deadlines later when you have a little bit more time. Or if you start a micro credential and you decide, you know what, this isn't really exactly what I thought it was going to be, I'm not as interested in this, you can decide not to complete it, and it's not going to have a negative impact on you in any way in terms of your GPA or reflect badly on your transcript. So first, there's 3 different opportunities that our division kind of coordinates. The first one is the UNT Certified Micro Credentials. These learning experiences are, the learning experience is the same Canvas platform that you use for your 4-credit degree courses. Again, they're self-paced, and they do not, even though they are in the same Canvas that you use for your degree courses, they do not appear on your UNT transcripts. You do get a digital badge that you can share on social media. And I will show you the website here, and let me actually also put that in the chat. Okay. I'm always a little bit, okay, I'll put this in the chat for you. There we go. So we currently have 4 micro credentials that are available for the UNT community. Learning with AI, critical literacy for college students, digital accessibility foundations, semiconductor device processing, and professional selling. And these have all been developed in coordination with UNT faculty or staff. And so they are, housed within the UNT learning environment. And so those are a few options. We are going to be building more of those UNT-based micro-credentials. So kind of be on the lookout for those. And over the next year, you'll see more of those start to show up on the website. And then let's see. So next we're going to talk about Coursera for UNT. This learning experience is on the Coursera platform. Again, it's self-paced, does not appear on your UNT transcript, does not affect your GPA, no penalty for not completing the micro-credential. You earn a digital badge that you can share on social media. And let me this up and share this link in the chat. Okay. So for these opportunities, you will scroll down to here where it says Coursera for UNT. And these are free courses that are on the Coursera platform. They are developed by UNT as well as partner universities. So here are some examples of courses that are available that were developed by UNT. College Math Prep, College English Prep, Contemporary Biology, Foundations of Marketing, Research Design, Inquiry and Discovery, management foundations in the hospitality industry, and pathways to civic engagement. But there are additional ones. So how do you access these? You will, let's see, go to the quick start guide here, and it will walk through these directions. It's really important if you have not set up your UNT-based Coursera account, and that is going to be using your official UNT email address, that you walk through these instructions carefully. If you already have a Coursera account with a personal email address, such as a Gmail address, it will give you the opportunity to connect those. So do kind of walk through those instructions very, very carefully when you're first setting up your account. I've already had my account for a while, so it should take me directly there. There we go. And I actually am going to log out just so I can show you an important step when you log in here. Okay. Oh, hopefully. Okay. So when I log in, I want to log in with University of North Texas. So make sure that this step is that you are able to log in with your UNT credentials. It may default to your Gmail account or something and take you back to your original personal account, but you want to make sure that you authenticate with your UNT credentials to be able to access this portal for free. So these courses are developed with university partners, such as University of Virginia, University of Minnesota, there's UNT, and Yale University. You can view these by collections. So they've kind of collected them in terms of course topics. Agile and product management, business leadership, business strategy. There are some in here from international universities, if you're interested in that. And so it's by various collections, or you can actually look this up by university. So if I wanted to search for everything that University of Michigan has available here, then I can just type that in here, and then you'll see some filters on the side. You can narrow it down by subject. You can narrow it down by level, beginner, intermediate, educator. So if you want to make sure that it's just the University of Michigan, you can narrow it down by language, English, and and also you can say, okay, do I just want a video? Do I want a full course? Do I want a specialization? And a specialization is generally going to be a cluster of courses. So if you just want to start with a single course and take a look at that, let's see, successful negotiation. I'll just look at this, pull this up here. It is going to give you a link that says enroll. It says access provided by University of North Texas. That's the key to seeing that that you have indeed logged in with your UNT credentials to get that free access. Gives you some highlights about what you'll learn, the skills that you'll gain in this course. There are 6 modules in the course, so you can kind of see an estimate of how long they think each module is going to take to complete. So if you want to kind of get an overview of the course, you can do that. But again, there's no risk. So if you start a course and you decide that you either don't have time for it or you're not interested in it anymore, then you can just put a pause on it. I will show you something else. So at one point I started this Introduction to Python Fundamentals, and it has this, and it's been a while since I've worked on this. Honestly, I'm not sure how long ago I worked on it. I do kind of like dip my toes in things just to kind of see what they're like. And if it's been a while, it will have reset my deadlines. So keep in mind, this is all self-paced. The deadlines are not hard deadlines. They are just there to help you stay on track and to incentivize your progress. So you can always click reset my deadlines, and it's going to reset new target goals for you to complete that course. But again, okay, maybe it didn't be setting your deadlines. Okay, there we go. And then you can resume the course. So again, this is just an opportunity for you to try different things. And then if there is an area that you really want to delve into more, then you can complete the course, complete the specialization, and then share that badge on social media, such as LinkedIn, so that you have that documented that you have completed that skill and or that set of skills. And then let's go back to this and let's see. I listed some examples here, content created by partner academic institutions such as University of Michigan, Duke University, University of Virginia. I also mentioned the University of Minnesota. There's probably hundreds of universities that have content available, and our partnership with Coursera allows you to access that content for free. So let's see. And then the third area that we have micro-credentials available for students is the Coursera Career Academy. And I have a QR code there that you can scan if you want to, that will take you to this website. I will also drop this in the chat. It's the same website actually that we did before with the Coursera for UNT. But I will put this in the chat again. And so here, UNT Career Academy. Now, the UNT Career Academy has courses, specializations, like kind of micro projects that are basically developed by and hosted by industry partners, Google, Meta, IBM, Salesforce. There are a lot of different industry partners that have helped develop these micro-credentials that are available through Coursera. Again, these courses will be available, these micro-credentials will be available on the Coursera platform. And it gives you, again, instructions here about how to log in and join UNT Career Academy. Now, one thing that it is important to note is that technically Career Academy and the Coursera for UNT are two different catalogs. So they're all on Coursera, but they're in two different catalogs. So the UNT Career Academy is the industry-based credentials, micro-credentials. The University of North Texas on Coursera are the micro-credentials that have been developed in partnership with other universities and colleges. So you kind of keep that in mind. So if you want to go to the career certificates, industry partners, you would select this option, and this is just the little drop-down menu that you have here. So you can toggle between those two. The UNT Career Academy, it is set up where it has various career pathways listed. So depending on what career pathway you're interested in, you can select that. And let's say you wanted to program manager as a career pathway. And then it's going to recommend industry certificates that will help support that career pathway. There's the Microsoft Program Management Certificate, and then there's also the IBM Program Manager Certificate. So it tells you how many courses, about how long it will take to complete. So this is estimating, if you spend 2 hours a week for 6 months, you'll complete this one. This one, they're estimating takes a little bit longer, 7 months, 2 hours a week. But of course, these are all self-paced, so you can spend more or less time than that. You can pause it again if if it's midterms and you don't have time to work on these career professional focused certificates. So you can look that up by career area, career pathway. but then you can also look this up other ways. So it has all of these different career pathways, but you could also look it up by, let's see, if you wanted to look it up by, say, data analytics, kind of the more broad conceptual skill. You can look it up this way, and then it gives you some, again, those filter options, educator. You could look at learning product if you just want the full professional certificates, and you want it in English. You do have some alternative languages if you prefer learning, doing your learning in Spanish or French or even Portuguese. They do have some options there. And they've got quite a few languages. Now, I will say that some of these are, translated using AI. So if you, just kind of keep that in mind. They may not be presented in their native language. So let's see. So if I wanted to filter for Meta. So here for Meta, there are a series of certificates that are related to data analytics, metadata analyst, but there's also social media marketing. So that lets you know, and it tells you the skills here that you will gain. So if you want to click on the Meta social media marketing, 6-course series, it's beginner level, 5 months to complete, gives you, again, the outcomes, skills, and that this is taught in English, 22 languages available. Again, those are going to be the native language for this course is English, and so the other languages are going to probably be translated through using those AI tools. And keep in mind that these certificates are developed in conjunction with the industry, and so they're really focused on what that industry partner really wants to see people coming to them with when they're applying for jobs, when they're interviewing. And these are the, actual skills that they want to see that that the graduates have developed and are coming to them with. So there's tons of certificates that you can look at. And let me go back here. And again, this is the QR code that will take you to that website to look at that. Are there any questions about those opportunities at all? Okay. If you have any questions that come up later, you can reach out to our team. It looks like somebody's typing. Thank you. Thank you, Henry. Our prolearning@unt.edu. So if you have any problems logging in or have any questions about these, I did mention that for the most part, these do not count as academic credit. There is one degree at UNT that on a limited basis, there are some certificates can potentially be transferred for academic credit, and that's the Bachelor of Applied Arts and Sciences. So if you are in that major or you know someone who is in that major, then they should talk to their academic advisor to see if which certificates would apply to their particular degree program. Has for those of you who don't know, the Bachelor of Applied Arts and Sciences is a customized degree. Great question. Can I still use these after graduating? So we have been told that you should have access to your UNT email and your UNT credentials that you need to log into Coursera Career Academy for 18 months after you graduate. So our understanding from IT Shared Services is that after that 18 months, they deactivate the account for security purposes. But you should still have this available to you using your UNT credentials for 18 months. So we are working to extend that period of time so that hopefully alumni, sometimes alumni, graduate, and then 2 or 3 years down the road, they're in a new position and they want to like brush up on some skills, or they're looking to pivot a little bit, pivot their career a little bit, and want to brush up on some of those skills. And so we do recognize that would be really helpful for all alumni, regardless of how long it's been since they graduated. So we are working to extend that. But currently, it's about 18 months that your UNT credentials would remain active to be able to access this. Great question.
All right, thank you, Indra. And again, for anyone, if you have any questions, just go ahead and drop them in the chat. But we're going to go ahead and transition over to Andrea, who's going to talk more about LinkedIn Learning.
Sorry, y'all gotta remember to unmute my mic. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about LinkedIn Learning. I will say I don't work for the LinkedIn Learning team or anything like that at UNT, but I've used it quite a bit. So I think I know enough at least to get you started with LinkedIn Learning. But so similar to the Coursera Career Academy or just Coursera at UNT, these are all opportunities for you to kind of level up your skills, but do it in a way that works for you. Y'all are students, y'all are busy, a lot of you all are working and that type of thing. But it's a way to kind of continue that professional development. And I think start to set yourself up as a lifelong learner. I think something that is interesting is that even as you guys have access to these things as an employee at UNT, I also have access to these things. And there are a lot of employers that provide similar things for their employees. And so I'm currently in a Coursera certificate program on the Career Academy. And I know that as I need to learn new technologies or new things that are happening in the field, I graduated with my bachelor's degree in 2009. A lot has changed in a lot of areas. And I think my last degree I completed in 2016. Okay. And so, that process of learning doesn't stop. And so I think if you can start to set yourself up now as a lifelong learner and you know what resources are available, that will serve you very well throughout your career. So LinkedIn Learning, it's mostly video course based, and there are over 10,000 types of courses, videos, and things on LinkedIn Learning. A lot of them relate to business, technology, or creative skills. I've also started to see like a lot of stuff around leadership, a lot more things around artificial intelligence and that type of thing. So I think the library continues to grow, and they tend to focus on skills that are in high demand, trends that we're seeing across industries and things like that. So it's a good way to stay up to date with these things. These courses are taught by industry practitioners, so these aren't necessarily your UNT faculty or anything like that. These are industry leaders, people who are in their fields that are teaching these courses on LinkedIn Learning, and they are all self-paced. As someone who has done both the Coursera Career Academy and LinkedIn Learning, I do think the Career Academy, I think these are more widely recognized professional certificates compared to LinkedIn Learning. But I also think that LinkedIn Learning is more of, I think, a smaller, shorter commitment. And so I know if I want to learn something really fast or I just want to brush up on a specific skill, I tend to go to LinkedIn Learning. But if I'm looking to add like a credential or a certificate, I tend to lean more towards the UNT Career Academy. But LinkedIn Learning does have certificates that you can earn and things like that, that you could still add to your resume or your LinkedIn profile and those types of things. To access your account, I'll be honest, I typically just Google UNT LinkedIn Learning, and then there's a link right on that page. But I think the official link is www.linkedin.com/learning/login. That's just the general LinkedIn Learning login. And if you put in your UNT email, it's automatically going to redirect you to the UNT single sign-on option, and then you'll log in with your EUID and password like you do for most of UNT's technology. You'll have an option. You don't have to do this. This is completely optional, but it might prompt you and ask you if you want to connect your LinkedIn Learning account to your LinkedIn account. Um, it's up to you. It's a personal decision of what you want, but there are some benefits to connecting the two. One, it's going to create personalized recommendations for you based on your experiences that you already have listed on your LinkedIn profile and things like that. So it's going to bring in your career experiences. It will automatically showcase your achievements. So as you complete courses or certificates in LinkedIn Learning, it's going to automatically add those to your LinkedIn profile. But probably I think the most important one is it allows you to keep your learning history. So, kind of at that 18 months when you no longer have UNT credentials after you graduate and things like that. And maybe you're like, oh no, I want to go back in there and print out a certificate or something like that. You won't have access to LinkedIn Learning anymore, but if it is connected to your LinkedIn account, it's going to retain your learning history so that you can continue to see all of like your training records or certificates or history, even when you're no longer a UNT student. You have a few advanced networking capabilities once you connect the two. And so you can see what courses are like trending at UNT, see what other people at UNT are taking, but also a lot of the instructors or practitioners that are teaching these courses on LinkedIn Learning, some of them will create groups on LinkedIn where you can ask questions and that type of thing. And so it does give you a little bit more networking capabilities when you connect the two, but again, you don't have to. And you don't have to decide right off the bat. So kind of when it prompts you, when you're first creating your account, you can always go back into your account settings and decide to connect your LinkedIn account when you're ready to. The first thing that you're probably going to do is it's going to ask you questions about the type of content that you want to see. But then you also have this option to set a career goal. And this career goal can fall into one of three tracks. So either you can say your goal is to grow and to continue to advance in your current career. You can say that you're transitioning to a new field, or you can say that you're wanting to build leaderships and leadership skills and learn how to manage teams. And so you'll kind of select one of those tracks. Um, if you haven't connected your LinkedIn profile, it's probably going to ask you to manually enter in some of your experiences so it can kind of gauge what type of content would be appropriate for you. But if it's already connected to your LinkedIn profile, it's going to automatically pull those things. And then it's going to start to create like personalized learning plans for you so that you can kind of track your progress towards your goals based on what your goals are. It's going to give you recommendations of skills that you should learn or learning paths that would be good for you to reach those career goals. So how does this help you? And I think a lot of this applies even to whether we're talking LinkedIn Learning or Coursera. It allows you to fill in technical or software gaps. 2026 is very fast paced, and there are a lot of things in technology that shift industries where you've got to learn a lot of new information really fast, or you have to brush up on something. My bachelor's degree was in accounting, and my first job out of college, I worked as a staff accountant. And I just wish I had something like this because it was something I was looking at in Excel. And I was like, I remember taking like an Excel course, but like I wasn't in it enough to remember how I needed to do something. And so if you need to brush up on pivot tables or anything like that, like there's plenty of Excel things that are in there as well. It allows you to explore and learn new skills and follow your interest. And so if there are things that you are interested in that you just personally want to learn more about, when we get in after kind of my presentation part and we get into kind of see what it looks like, you'll see things about motion graphics for me, just because I'm interested in creating them and I'm just curious about how to learn After Effects. It's not necessarily a specific career thing that I need, but it's something that I find to be interesting. It's a good way, I think, to add credentials to skills that you already have. So especially if you are a non-traditional student or you've been working, or maybe you've been doing something sort of like project management, but you're not formally a project manager. Whether we're talking LinkedIn Learning or Coursera, you could add a credential that kind of adds more credibility to things you might already be doing informally in a different role or even in your personal life. It kind of brings together those different experiences. You can learn vocabulary from industry about some things that you're already doing, and then you can discover new career paths and opportunities. And then again, I think you're just really starting to build habits of a lifelong learner. Okay, so some strategies I think that LinkedIn Learning is really good for is as you are job searching. And so as you are, getting on job boards, you're looking up your dream job and what you want that to be. Search those job postings and kind of see what skills or especially what technology platforms keep repeatedly showing up in those job postings. And if you don't have those skills or if you don't know how to use those platforms, go ahead and start to look up what those skills are in LinkedIn so that you can start to gain. Maybe you don't have any formal experience using, I don't know, Salesforce, but you could learn about Salesforce and be able to add that you completed a course on LinkedIn or that you completed a certificate in Coursera. That would add some legitimacy to the software that they're expecting you to be able to use. And then I see a question in the chat, so I'm going to pause for a second. If you start off without linking your LinkedIn account and earn a couple of credentials and then link them later, will they automatically show up? I do not know if it goes back retroactively to add them to your LinkedIn account. I may test it out and then just kind of send an email out to the group. My accounts are not connected and I have earned or completed some courses, so I might just try it out tonight and see what happens if I connect it tonight, and then we can send that answer out because I am not sure. And so then, yeah, so what you're doing is you are building those skills or those knowledge areas. And I think this is really good because the technology changes. I think what your degree does a good job of giving you is theory and fundamentals for how something works. But as someone who has been working in a variety of fields for, I don't know, 2 decades at this point, the technology often changes. The methods in which we are applying that theory often changes because it changes in the context of what is happening currently in the industry. And so you're going to always have to be able to continue to level up those skills. Like Excel now versus Excel 20 years ago looks completely different, and things like that. And so we can pause for a second, and I pulled up my LinkedIn account so you all can kind of see what it looks like. So when you log in and you're on your homepage, this is pretty much what you'll see. I will say the first time you're logging in, you are probably going to see this. So it's going to ask you if you want to connect your LinkedIn profile. And then if you do, press the button if you want to and add your LinkedIn credentials, and it's going to link those together. You can also say that you're going to just add your experience manually, and you can do that. And so in order to create that career goal in LinkedIn Learning, it's going to have some of your experiences to go off of. I don't use LinkedIn Learning in that way at this point in my career. I typically just search what I want to know or what I want to learn about and go from there. So I'm going to skip this because I don't want to do that right now. And then you can have saved content. So if you go to my content, you're able to see, like, if you have something in progress, you're able to see things that you've saved. As I told y'all, I've been interested in motion graphics, so most of that is related to After Effects and motion graphics. You can also see what you've done in the past or what you've completed, and things like that. Some instructors might use LinkedIn Learning just like as a part of their assignments in coursework and things like that. So you may get introduced to it through there. And then there are some other features that you can kind of take a look at. There's some AI coaching. So if you want some career coaching, you can do a little bit of that. I believe this AI role play is a little bit new. I have not played around with this, but I think that when you click it, you can put what you're practicing in. So if you're wanting to prepare for an interview, you can say, I'm preparing for an instructional design position interview or something, like whatever it is. Put the relevant information in there, and then it will do some of that role play with you. So you get a little practice and you start to feel a bit more comfortable Oh gosh. Oh, I didn't know I had my sticky notes up. Sorry, y'all. And things like that. And so I think that is about it. If you go to the hands-on tech, it's more project-based, kind of hands-on learning type things. And then if you're specifically looking for certifications, there are some professional certifications that are here on here. A lot of them are from similar companies as what you'll see on the Coursera Career Academy as well. And then if you are preparing to take like an industry exam for a certification that an exam is required for or something like that, you'll start to see those things as well. So, do y'all have any questions for me? Here is my contact information if you need to find me. Like I said, I work with Dallas. I work with the online student experience. So if you have questions or if you need help getting started, we're happy to help with all of that. And like I said, I'll test out connecting LinkedIn and see if it pulls in my previous things. And I'll get the attendance list from Dallas, or I'll just maybe respond back in this chat and let you know how it works. All right, Dallas, I'm going to turn it back over to you if there aren't any questions for me.
Awesome. Thank you, Andrea, so much. Between Andrea and Indra, y'all have, I feel like I've learned so much about UNT and what sort of like micro-credentials and learning and courses and options they have outside of academics. And of course, I learned all these things after I graduated from UNT. So it's just nice
and
to know.
Dallas, I have one more thing to add that
Oh, yeah,
I thought about it and then I forgot. So I would say that yes, it is great that UNT provides these things. I would say also check your local library. Like I live in this little country town outside of Denton, and we have Udemy through our public library for free. So I'm currently doing a self-paced sketchnote class. But some libraries have Skillshare. Some have other things. I know if you're in Denton, Denton also has LinkedIn Learning. So unfortunately, you'll get an additional platform. But if you're not in Denton, I would say check with your local library and see if, I mean, I think it's becoming very popular for libraries to offer these different platforms that will help you get different career skills and credentials.
All right. Thank you again. I absolutely agree. People underestimate the amount of resources that are offered by the library. And I always say definitely recommend looking into that. But before we transition to the end of it, first off, I wanted to thank our speakers for being here today and being able to talk about, what are some different things that UNT offers in terms of micro-credentials, courses, LinkedIn Learning. Before we transition, if you were not here in the beginning, on the left side is some of our upcoming events, and on the right side, which I really want to promote, OSC is hosting their first virtual graduation celebration. So if you are graduating this spring, this summer, or you know someone who graduated this past fall in 2025, we want to celebrate you. We want to celebrate them. So this QR code on the screen provides the link to register for graduates. By registering, you receive some fun UNT goodies. We're also going to have speakers from the UNT Alumni Association and the Career Center. And excuse me, lost my train of thought for a second. And if you're not able to attend the live session, we are also going to be having a video compilation that's going to be uploaded on our website, so you'll be able to share that with your friends and family. So thank you again to our speakers. If you're interested and wanting to learn more about micro-credentials, LinkedIn Learning, anything like that, Andrea and Andrea are great when it comes to any sort of like the techie fun side of UNT. So I definitely recommend looking into that, especially, with Andrea. She is what is it, 3-time alumni of UNT? Yeah, 3-time alumni. So
Yes, I have 3 degrees from UNT.
she knows her thing or two.
I am someone who likes to learn for fun and collects degrees like Infinity Stones. Don't know. And then if you're doing our Honor Cord program, you can earn Honor Cord points by completing a micro credential. So, and either one works.
Yes, let me go back real quick. There we go. Yes, we have our Honor Cord program. This is the QR code. You can also check out our website, osc.unt.edu, for more information about our Honor Cord and how to sign up for that. All right, well, that is all from our end. Let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen because I'm sure whoever is watching this doesn't want to listen to me talk any more than I need to. If I can press the button, there we go. Stop recording.